After 11 rounds, we headed to the final round of season 28, the final round of the P1 tier, and all that it stands between Alex and Marco claiming victory in the P1 Championship tonight. It's the Las Vegas Strip Circuit. Welcome along to Delta Rap One Hub Racing, and for the final time tonight, I'm Jess Ball, and joining me in the commentary box, as always, for the final time, is Jamie. Jamie, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Looking forward to this. Should be an exciting one. Obviously, a very close points position, especially after last week, where it closed even further. So yeah, obviously good to be back as well. We missed last week as commentaries, so it's good to be back, and hopefully we can have a good one.
Yeah, both of us weren't here last week. We couldn't do, of course. Jamie had a break last week after he was successfully crowned P4 champion, whereas I wasn't here because I was away. But thank you to either Brim Mike and Evil Dragon for stepping in at very short notice, believe it or not, with I think a few minutes to spare, and they both did a great job. So thank you to both of them. And let's go through the championship a little bit here, because the gap separating Alex and Marco is 4 points. Of course, Marco won the race last time out. Alex, unfortunately, he had tried to appeal his penalty, but unfortunately the stewards felt like the warning still saw fit, and he kept his penalty, which meant he finished in second, which means the gap closed down by 4 points. We'll keep an eye on the permutations as we go through, but if Alex beats Marco tonight, he's champion. But if Marco outscores Alex by 4 or 5 points, he is champion as well. And it'll be interesting to see how that works in terms of countback as well. But like we've seen in P3 tonight, it could go either way between our top two.
Yeah, it can do for sure. It's very in between. Obviously, last week we had the two Williams that looked at the front row, but they both had their gearbox penalty. So actually, and Alex had quite a poor qualifying. I think he left the session to rejoin late, so he's qualified 6th. So they were with each other on the grid last week, and they actually came through the field. Mark did a slightly better job of it, but I think Alex at the end was very fast. He did well to get second place, because some parts of the race it looked like second wasn't really on, and that's given the advantage of the championship, obviously, if he gets a second place.
Yes, that's correct. As he finished second.
So,
yeah. Sorry, carry on.
So the Williams I think the Williams team need to 1-2 this race, really. That's what they've got to do. It's the capable of doing it. They have done it in the past, and Mert has definitely improved the late, obviously winning our Driver of the Month for April. So, yeah, the Williams basically need to 1-2 this race. That's what I think needs to happen. And obviously, if it happens, obviously with Marco winning, which should be a given if they 1-2, then obviously win the drive championship. We're all doing the Constructor Championship Williams, so it's all focused on giving Marco the opportunity to win the driver's title.
And the weather has taken a turn for the worse here in Las Vegas, and it's weather that Alex did not want to see here this evening. It is a wet start to the qualifying session, and for those of you that are new to One Hub Racing, we have this beautiful adaptive weather system where we have different weather combinations for qualifying and the race, and the heavens have opened. It decided to give us some wet weather in qualifying and the race. Not as much to affect things in quite a few of the tiers tonight. I think I would expect to see the same in this tier, because it's going to be a lot faster the race time compared to what we saw in the other tiers, so should be interesting. We got 15 drivers tonight. No Callum tonight, he is missing. I'm not sure about the other drivers though, but I think the pressure must be on tonight. And speaking, of course, you are a champion yourself, and you know how it feels to fight for a championship. What do you think these drivers of Marco and Alex will be feeling tonight?
Well, luckily for me, mine never came down to the last race. But I think in terms of this, I believe it's so amazing, because it's basically a one-way shootout. Basically, you need to do a good job, because both these guys need to finish in the podium, I think, to win it. So you cannot afford any slip-ups. And this is a track, obviously such a low-grip track with long straights, and obviously in the wet as well, wet qualifying. And will it dry up at the end of qualifying? I doubt it. Look at the other tiers, it hasn't happened. Obviously, I did a gamble on the slicks in my tier, and it wasn't really the right way to go. So, yeah, it's going to be a wet qualifying, and that might shake the order a bit. And one or two of these other guys may act a bit spoilers. You may see, as I say, like Senna getting involved there. Obviously, he's got some good pace. You may see like Nikita up there. Morgan, So I think for the championship contenders, they wanted a dry race because if it's a dry race, they're both basically gonna fight for a podium. But with this wet weather, it just throws a bit of variable. And obviously Craggy, who we know is quite fast, and he could play a factor too. And obviously he's quite good on tyres, and with the weather, then it may reward doing long stints on certain sets of tyres. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, this race, and it's not the straightforward one that I don't think either would have wanted, but especially Alex with the lead, because he had 4 points. It's quite a comfortable gap at them. It was coming in, but with this weather, it's not, because one mistake and that gap's point can vanish, as we saw in the other tier tonight, where it was championship contender. There was a big lead there, but it almost got lost. But he managed to hang on in the end, Bonifish. So yeah, Alex we just needed to do his best, and obviously with this wet quality, it's so difficult, because there's bad enough. The grip's bad enough on this track anyway, but with it being wet, it's just even worse.
Yeah, and as you can see, he's sliding. We were speaking to him in the pre-race show, if you're watching earlier on, and he struggles in the wet. He doesn't put any practice in the wet, which could hinder him a little bit. But in the dry, he's pretty much even. And if it's a wet qualifying, as you were saying, for most of it, he's going to struggle to close in onto Marco, because we know Marco in the wet conditions, he likes the wet conditions, and he's very, very experienced, Marco, in the wet. But let's see what Alex could do as he enters the middle sector. Took it very conservatively as he makes his way through into the back straight. You can see a bit of sliding going on there as he tries to get the temperature in the tyres. It's a very cold track in terms of track and air temperature, so it will take a while for the tyres to heat as he's hit the wall a little bit. Luckily, that's not enough for him to retire from the session, and he looks like he's struggling out there at the moment. Yeah. So I think it's not going to be a good lap with him. But Marco's still in the pit, so he's going to wait until I think the conditions improve for him to get his lap, because it will be worse if you are out now, you struggle, you bin it, and that's your lap over. So probably Marco doing the right thing there. But Alex seems to be struggling out there, it seems.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised he's out there, actually, because it is technically... It's sort of not good to be retired this weather, because it's probably a bit too dry for the full wet, but not wet enough, but too wet for the inters. So I'm surprised. Maybe he wants wet practice, but I've been aboard this lap and he's hit the wall about 3 or 4 times. Obviously, he just scraped the wall, so no damage done. But yeah, he really is struggling a big time there. And there's a 38.5. It just shows you it's 3 seconds off Gabe's lap. And yeah, he needs to bed himself in, I think. He needs this next lap needs to be a bit smoother, because he's not going to do much confidence if he keeps scraping all like this, because at the end, he did do a lap on inters on a virtually dry track, so as he hits wall there again, yeah, he's just scraping it, but it doesn't give you confidence. You can feel that through your wheel, and yeah, he just needs to just maybe just take it a bit easy at the moment and just get a solid lap in, and then obviously the majority of race is going to be dry, so that'll be good for him. But if he's down on the grid, then that won't be too good for him.
It's going to be hard due to the DRS trains. Of course, this circuit first used back in 2023, and we knew how hard it was to overtake there. But we have seen people make it work at the time for some drivers, but we have seen people do multiple laps in qualifying to get their laps in. But this track, very difficult. But turns 5 to 9, quite tricky on how tight the run is through there, because there could be a potential for quite a few crashes through the spear section. Turn 11 and 12 leading onto the Las Vegas Strip. Very technical chicane. Plenty of drivers have got it wrong and went too deep in the pass. Like we saw Alex hit the wall at times. It's just very easy to get it wrong through there, as we're seeing Casper Purple sector that is already intermediate conditions already, but the meta on this game is 4 wets are absolutely useless in qualifying. Just use the inters in this tier, I would say, but it's definitely intermediate conditions now, as multiple people are setting multiple laps. We do have, I believe, more drivers setting their lap times. Alex is about almost 2 seconds up, so he goes across the line, and that's more like it. I wonder if he was just getting a feel for it that lap. I think he was, and as the track improves, Alex is there on top, but he won't be on top for long as more drivers are improving on his run. Colin has validated though, so that's his run done, and you'll go again in a minute.
Yeah, I wonder if that first lap he was just not using a battery, because obviously, and just get the feel for the track, because he did feel a lot more confident on that lap. He's still skipping all a little bit, but he was definitely carrying more speed in the corners, and he weren't 4 seconds quicker on that lap compared to his previous, so it just shows you. There's also track grip improvement there is playing a factor. As Gabe's up 2 seconds, everyone's improving massively. So yeah, the track is getting drier and drier and drier. So yeah, this order will shake up a little bit there. As Morgan goes to second place there with a 45.5, and Casper now. I've seen Casper show some pace of late. He's gone quickest, a 43.8. 8.86. So Casper, I think Casper quite likes wet weather, so I think he'd be quite enjoying this qualifying session, which is basically an all wet quali session.
He does feel confident around Las Vegas. He feels like he's got the pace in the dry conditions, but the wet conditions we're not entirely sure. As take the times that you're seeing on your screen with a pinch of salt, because the track is improving all the time. I'm noticing it's getting lighter a bit earlier in this tier, so I wonder if it's going to be drier quicker. I think in all three tiers it was nowhere near enough for the slick conditions. Yes, it was dry, but it was so slippy that the drivers that got pole position were on the intermediate tyres, and if you're on the soft, you were just losing so much more grip. So Casper doing a great job there. We still got the home favourite of Logan still yet to set a lap time. Lakitu yet to set a lap time. And by the way, if you're wondering who's in P8 with no name, that's Jayco. I don't know why he's showing us no name for me, but he is Jayco at the moment as he's going through the Las Vegas strip. That's where you can burn all the battery, which he has, and there will be certain drivers that will be keeping a little bit their dry setup for the qualifying session because Parc Ferme is on, but they'll be probably tweaking a bit of the rear ring to get a little bit more stability in the car. So here comes Jayco in the Kick Sauber. Hasn't done much laps yet, but I think this is going to be an improvement, not by much though, for the Kick Sauber driver. He goes in into 7th spot. Next across the line will be Morgan, I believe, who, like you were saying, has had a good season. Up to the line he goes, and he does not improve, so I think he's going to go again. I believe we have Lakitu up next. I believe he's going to be on one push. Yeah, he's going for another push run because he was on 0 ERS, none ERS there, so he's going to go again.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, you've got to really, obviously in wet quality you tend to do multiple laps, but you can't do multiple laps on the battery. You've got to do basically a quick lap, a cool down lap, and another quick lap. So yeah, we're seeing these guys, obviously some guys, you see guys not improving. That's just basically because they're not using battery, they're charging it up for a second run, because you can't really do consecutive laps with the battery on this game, even though you want to on the wet tyres, you want to do multiple laps, because then the tyres, you get more grip rather than degradation on the wet tyres. So it does pay advantage to, as Axel up there proves it there, his 4th lap on the internet, he's done a 41.7 into pole position. So you just keep building up more and more confidence. The track's getting drier and drier and drier, and this is going to be quite interesting. With 7.5 minutes to go, is it going to dry up for slicks? Because these laps, 1 minute 40, they're getting quite close crossover point. They're a few seconds off, I think, and then may see slicks the end here. So that'll be interesting to see if anybody takes that gamble. We may not even gamble the way the track's drying up, to be fair. As Mert goes second, so 2 Williams at front row, they'd love that result to be the race result, wouldn't they? But sadly for them, it's only 7 minutes into quali, as Mert has a bit of a moment there. He managed to keep out the wall, though. I think that was on a cool-down lap, so no damage done.
No damage done for Mert. And yes, you won the Constructors, but you still got one more job of helping your teammate. And I think you could only help your teammate at this stage. And Morgan goes 4th fastest, by the way. Good lap time from him. But with 6 minutes left to go, let us know your predictions in the chat on who you think is going to get pole. And who do you think is going to win the championship? Because like I said, it can go either way. Currently, Marco is currently on pole position with Alex in 7th. And if it's like this now, Marco would win the title. But there's still a long way to go because we still got the race, which will be a dry to wet race, and who knows, it may not be wet at all knowing this tier. I think if there's no safety car with this tier, how fast it is, there will be, I think it'll be completely dry all the way through like we saw in Japan, because I don't think we've had a wet race at all in this tier, as Curry goes and dives it in to the pit lane, who's done a decent job in qualifying so far. I'm just watching, I think one of the Alpines, I think almost looked like he got held up then. No, he's on his out lap. That is fine. That was a bit worrying. He's trying to get some slipstream from Alex, bless him, right now. But I thought it would have been a little bit of an impeding there, but luckily it wasn't. But more drivers on lap times. The key to, though, currently sitting in 10th, he needs a miracle because the last few races for him has not gone his way.
No, he hasn't. He's looking good for a possible top three championship, but yeah, he's gone astray of late, and yeah, he just wants to have a good race. I think he just wants to have a nice fun race end of season. As obviously, as Craggy now gets pole, he just beat Marco by 2,000 of a second there. So yeah, 1 minute 40
Wow.
there for Craggy. It's a 7 second improvement on his previous lap. Obviously, he's gone out on the fresh heaviness. So I think these guys, if you're gonna think about slicks, then you'll have to have the pits pretty soon because you keep staying on track, you won't have time to do it again. As yeah, I think Alex knew Gibbs on that lap because they both came out the pits together, so sort of knew us now. They're both starting to fly lap now. And Alex might get a distant toe off the Alpine. This would be interesting to see down the back straight. I'm not quite sure if he will though.
Well, we will see if whether gambles him to stay out another few laps or so, because if I was him, maybe potentially go into the pits to see if it does dry up, because I think the more you stay out, the more that it's going to be better for you. But I think Alex is going to be in danger if he doesn't come into the pits now, and even sliding on the exit of, I think, turn 7, and he just about goes to the wall again, so he's struggling a little bit. We are seeing drivers who have opted for the softs, but I still don't think it's dry enough for the soft tyres. If we get a dry end to the qualifying, that'll be the first ever dry end to the qualifying I think we've seen in all 4 tiers. As yeah, I think if I was Alex, I think he's backing out his lap anyway. He's probably listened to me, so he's probably going to dive it in to the pits. I think everyone who's out is probably going to dive it into the pits at the moment. So it's Craggy on pole by 2,000, Timarco in second, Casper in third, and Mert in fourth. Atzlock having a great qualifying in P5, but don't forget there are certain drivers who are taking their car wear penalties this week, and there's certain drivers in this tier that have been very naughty and haven't taken all of them, so they'll be getting points deduction at the end of the season. I'm not going to give away too much on who, but if you've been watching the streams, then you'll have a rough idea on who has done that. Alex has gone into the pits, Gabe's gone into the pits as well, everyone's going into the pits. It's still raining. Pardon?
I think it might be slicks here because the track does look a lot drier than it did in our tier. So I think it's worth a gamble on slicks here. I believe half the field will gamble on slicks here.
Yeah, and it stopped raining when I went on track, but I think it was still quite slippy. It was different conditions, I think, every tier. I think obviously you want it to be dry, but for some people they may want it to be wet. And it's like the luck of the draw. Las Vegas is always like a gamble circuit with all those casinos. So I wonder who's going to be paying the price tonight for not making the right decision. And some people will probably have to opt to go right now. For the first time, we can see the pit garages in a while. So we'll see who comes out. A majority of people have opted for the softs. Quite a few people have gone for the mediums, actually, as one of the Kicks Albers comes out of the pit lane. I believe that was Colin, because I could see his pit crew going. He's going on to set up the intermediates. Yes, he is. And it stopped raining, Jamie. Yeah, you're right. It stopped raining, but will it be enough for slicks? We will only find out in about 2 minutes' time. Maybe Colin has made the wrong decision, because everybody, apart from him and Morgan... yeah, it's just Colin that's not gone out on the soft compound tyres. Everybody else has chosen soft. And if I were you, go out now, because otherwise you're not going to get a lap in time.
Yeah, there's a lot of traffic. There's a massive traffic jam here. It might be like the Vegas Strip on a Friday night. The traffic is going to have coming out the final sector there. And look how close you are bunched together. You don't get this in real life F1. Obviously, in real life F1 they do spread out a bit more, not pits. But yeah, Colin on a set of inters. Yeah, the track does look dry, but let's not forget it is under lights, and sometimes the track looks drier than it is. But I'm not bothered these guys on the smaller pits, and I know doing out laps you're not pushing, but the grip doesn't seem that bad. And I believe I had this in the practice qualification earlier like this, and the DRS enabled came on with about half a minute to go. So if you're last across the line, some of these guys may not get DRS down the strip, and some of the guys behind might. So this could be a real lottery of a quality session, and Alex is last in line, I believe. So Alex may, he's got the Alpine behind, as DRS is enabled. So we are going now, and DRS is enabled. So yeah, it's dry. It's definitely a dry session. Everybody get DRS. So it's going to be a fair run. And Colin, is just going to miss out here because he's first on the track and he's on the inners. I wonder if he had the ignore and go to track message.
I wonder if that's the case, or maybe he think it wasn't going to dry up in time, but we'll see. Alex is probably glad that it's going to be a dry end to the qualifying because that's where he is the strongest. Colin will be the first to meet those conditions, but it's still quite slippy as he makes his way towards turn 1. The first driver to meet the conditions on the soft compound tyres is this man, ERT Senna, who's currently sitting in 6th at the moment, and we'll see. It's still quite slippy in turn 1, so I wonder if it's going to be a bit difficult for some of the drivers as we head through there. We may see, I think,
there's a crash.
Issues. There's a crash for Gabe, I think it was. Yeah, it was Gabe who lost it.
There's a collision there. I'm not sure. I think it's between a Ferrari and a Gabe. And yeah, Gabe's in the wall there. And well, that could be in the stewards, I believe. I believe it may have been Morgan. It was him and Gabe came together. And look at this. At the back, they're all getting each other's way. So they're not going to get a good lap here. They're all in each other's way. So they waited so long. And now look at this. None of these guys are back and get a good lap. And this may play into the advantage of the as I believe Marco's actually got some decent clean air, so it might work out a treat for him.
And so will, I believe, Jayco as well on the soft compound tyres. So, and if you got some clear air, it's definitely going to help you. So Colin will go probably fastest for now, but I don't think it's going to be fastest for that long. He's had a bit of a slide coming out of the chicane. The checker flag has dropped for the final time tonight in this qualifying session. Who's going to get pole? Answers on the postcard. We'll see. Colin will be one to set a lap time first. He goes fast, it's 1:38.5, but he won't last for very long because we got a prancing Senna who probably went out at the right time because he has got the clearest air out of everybody. Let's watch ERT Senna. He comes up to the line. It's a 1:34.7, about a few seconds quicker than anyone else. Jayco's up next. Jayco goes fastest. What about everybody else as they make their way towards the line? It looks like it's like F1 sim racing. Atslot goes fastest. Now you go fastest. Marco goes fastest. Craig goes second. Dave goes fastest. Let's watch our championship contender of Alex. I think he's not improving at all, actually. He's in sixth fastest. Not good for him at all. And that's because he was stuck in that traffic. But the driver that's sitting P2 in the championship got that perfectly. And he's on pole just as he needs. And like I was saying earlier, if it was to finish like this, he would win the title. And that's a great start to his evening.
Yeah, fantastic start to him. Yeah, I think obviously Alex was at the back of that field there. He just sort of got constrained a bit there. I believe Marco got the right balance between going out at the right time and getting clean air, and he's obviously on pole position. We've got Logan in second in his home race. Dave in third. Great qualifying for him in third place. Craggy fourth. Mert fifth. Alex sixth. Axellock in seventh. Lakitu eighth. Ninth is Curry. 10th J. Cole. 13th Senna, 12th Colin, 13th Casper, 14th Morgan, and 15th Gabe, who was unable to set a lap. And I believe Morgan also wasn't able to set a lap. And obviously Casper, he invalidated his lap, and obviously he was in that traffic as well. So them guys at the back, they all got each other's way, and they cost themselves a chance of pole. But had to get. But I think there wasn't much time. They couldn't straight each other out because if they had a gap between each other, half field wouldn't have made it. So they just left it a little bit too late going out the pits.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame, unfortunately. But we have got a little bit of a break until we get into some action, and we can have a quick rundown of the permutations very soon, and also a little bit of the rivalries. But since it's the final race of the season, I was gutted that I didn't do it last season. We are going to capture the Demolition Derby, so hopefully people in the P1 tier could go as crazy as they want, please, because we don't usually get to see the P1 Demolition Derby because I always hide it because of the overlays. So as soon as we get started with that, it'll be the last one of the season. And just like I was saying earlier, P2 will be enough for Alex to win the title, but he's got a long way to climb. And here we go, as I got it very quickly for the final Demolition Derby. It's not going to count. Let's see who's going to make the biggest crash in towards turn 1. Oh, that's boring. There's quite a few retirements. There's a lot of flips going everywhere. And yeah, I think there's a lot of action going on there. Oh, there's almost a flip going on again, even more. That was the last Demolition Derby of the season. You're welcome. Thanks, everyone, for giving some entertainment. Oh, there we go. Come on, Dave, come on. Do a bit of a flip. There he goes. No, that didn't work. Come on, Dave, you can do better than that. No, he's not. He's not. Where's Gabe when you need it? No, that's a bit boring than expected, but last Demolition Derby of the season, we just want to have a little bit of fun there. But Jamie, who do you think has disappointed you in his qualifying session?
That is a good question. I think for me it has to be Casper. Just invalidating the lap. He had good pace in the wet, and he was looking good for maybe a top 3 grid slot, and just getting that invalidation is just going to set him back. He's at the back grid now. It's going to be so difficult to move through the field. I think Casper could have got a top 3 on the grid. But I think Casper is my biggest disappointment in quali.
I have to agree. He's probably kicking himself, bless him. But he has made his way up through the field before. Remember what we saw in Las Vegas? I think he started lower down and went up into 6th. And Alex had a poor qualifying, or was it Marco had a poor qualifying last week, and they still managed to get up in the top 2. So anything could happen. But like I was saying, it's so hard to overtake around here. But let's have a little bit of a chat about our 2 championship contenders of Marco and Alex, because they were called into the rivalry section as they were asked, winner takes all, how are you both feeling heading into this titanic battle, and are we likely to see fireworks? And Marco said, really exciting race coming up, let's try to keep the race clean. Alex is a super fast driver, whoever wins deserves it, and he's hoping for rain in the race so he can get a show for the money, and he gets his wish there. And Alex says, feeling pretty nervous, not sure Marco will be there. Well, he is there. The only way to approach it is assuming he's going to show. If he does, it will be tight. And yes, it will be tight indeed between our 2 drivers. And let's just hope for the fans, at least, the drivers can keep it close. But Marco wanted a bit of rain and he's got it. Alex didn't want rain and he hasn't got it. And I think it's about down to experience, I think. If it rains very soon further into the race, I think it's going to go Marco's way because he loves the rain conditions. But if it's dry the whole race, I think it's going to go to Alex. But Alex has got to make his way past loads of cars.
Yeah, he needs a good start. He needs to get, I think, 1 or 2 off the line, which helping out so much. And obviously, with this wet weather, we may see a different sort of strategy in play, because normally I'd say around Vegas you might see a couple of guys starting on a soft tyre, but I think because of the rain you won't be seeing that tonight. I believe you may even see some guys starting the hard tyre, obviously trying to play it out for rain, which is going to come in the end of the race. So yeah, that could be a thing to keep an eye out for. And also, yeah, Marco in a great position, but I think he would have liked his teammate alongside him on the grid with a bit more comfortable for him. I think with that not being the case, then he's a little bit vulnerable at the start, and he knows that the 3 or 4 guys behind him, they've got nothing to lose. So, and turn 1 round here, it's very short run, and can see a few guys slightly miss the braking zone. So I think that's a thing to watch out for for these championship contenders. I have to just keep it careful at the start, lap 1, and then just see how the race progresses. As we're going to get underway, as Colin has started the ready procedure, so we'll be going to the grid pretty soon for our 2-minute countdown before the start of the race.
For one final time this season, the nerves are going to be kicking in, especially for our championship contenders. And of course, the constructors were decided last week, so well done to Williams. I think if I was Alex, I'll be very nervous knowing that Marco has had a better qualifying session than him, and if I was everybody else, it will be time to have a little bit of fun, have a bit of a gamble with the strategy. Of course, it had 17 turns, 11 to the left, 6 to the right, with 2 DRS zone, 25 laps await our drivers. And we saw in the P2 tier in particular, and in I think all the tiers, quite a few drivers starting on the hard tyres. And with a track like this, where there's DRS trains galore, starting on the hards couldn't be too much of a bad shout. Yes, you're going to be on colder tyres, but if you're probably going to be as slow as the drivers in front of you, so this could be a good chance for you to start on the hardest tyre and then go on to another set of hards and then wait until the inters. That is probably, I think, the best strategy if you are one of the drivers, because I think safety cars are very rare with this tier. I think we only had a few safety cars in this tier already, which shows, I think, the standard we have seen in this P1 tier. It's been incredible. I think the only other tier that's had the same amount of safety cars is P3 with only 1 safety car. So P1, standards-wise, has been very, very good. But if you were to pick who to win the title, Jamie, who would it be? Alex or Marco?
I think Alex will finish P2. I think come from the field and finish P2. So I think Alex would do it. But he's made itself a bit harder for him than it necessarily could have been. I think Alex will just clutch it by 1 point in the end, and win it by the closest margin possible, apart from a tie, of course. But if Marco gets fastest lap, then we could see a possibility where it could be a tied situation on points. And I believe Alex will have the count back on that. So Alex will, even if he wins, because I believe Alex will have more second places, because you'll have 2 second places with the race finish second day compared to Marco only had 1. So yeah, it could come down to count back on second places, which would be something, I have to say.
Yeah, I was, I think, going a bit loopy earlier on, because I think I'm sure Alex has got 1, but yeah, but if Alex finished second, he'll have more second places. And it took me a while, I think, to register this morning in the talk show, and I don't know why it took me a while. But let's go have a quick run through our sponsors. Delta app, using all your investments in one app. If you use the command !Delta in chat, you can click the link if you're over 18 and track your investments to success with Delta. Of course, we've got Next Level Racing. These are the prizes that they could win this season. Make sure you keep an eye on our socials for more information. Sim Racing Setups, they are one of our newest sponsors to the league, and you can get a discount of all setups by using the code OneHubRacing at checkout. And there's a pre-order going on for the F1 26 DLC, so why not get ahead early and get those as well. I use my Drive of the Day voucher codes to get that one. I only paid $9.99 for those setups for F1 26, so thank you to Sim Racing Setups for that. And there's vouchers for Drive of the Day and Drive of the Season. Pure Sim Gear, you can get a discount by using the code OHR10P at checkout, and you could win combined, you can win some Pure Sim Gear gloves or sorts. We're about to get underway, sorry. I'll go through all the other sponsors later, but the 5 red lights are on here for the final races. Season 28 is underway, and Marco gets a very good start off the line with Logan. Very clean start from him. Mert's got a good start too. Has Alex already up to 4th place, so he's gained 2 positions already, and he is near his teammate, which is very, very brilliant to see with Mert. So Alex doing a great job to close in onto Marco. Dave and that's not hang a fight as well, and it looks very clear at the start there. But the only one that didn't have the good start is Curry. He's right down at the back in P15. But Alex had a good start. Marco has done a good start as well. This could be very, very crucial if your name is Alex here. Is definitely the start you would have needed, gaining 2 places off the start. And Jamie, you're mute.
Yeah, sorry, Marco, yeah. Alex on the hard tyre as well, so that has worked out a treat for him. On the slower tyre, with obviously Logan on the soft, obviously hoping to maybe jump Marco, but that just hasn't worked for him at all. And Marco's got a great start. Obviously, DRS won't be played this lap, so it's just going to be pure slipstream at the moment. It's a clean start for the field. Nobody has a spin or anything. We've got Gabe and Colin banging wheels down the back of the field, but at the front it's quite close. Logan's getting close to Marco, but it's just going out straight before the end of the straight now, and he's going to have to hope with DRS he can gain. But Mert is looking quite threatening on the back of Logan. I think Mert will want to get by and let Williams control this race like they promised to do with the grid positions.
I'm liking the varying of strategies from all our drivers, and we'll see if Epic the Animal Logan and his home race could make those socks proud. Alex has gone a little bit deep, and he lost a bit of ground, but that's allowing the 2 Aston Martins to gain some traction. This is good news for your Marco, because you want to see Alex make a mistake. I wondered those tyres are not heating up to temperature as much we would have liked for the Haas car, because he's losing quite a bit of grip there in those high traction zones for Alex. But still a long way to go in this race for Alex, so we'll see what happens. But Marco still at least has a 4-10 gap. DRS will be activated, so if you're leading in this train, you probably don't want to be there. You want to play tactically potentially to make sure that you are the one leading the train before the intermediate period, because that's what we saw in the lower tiers, and that helped those particular drivers win that race. So it's going to be slipstream fest for all of our drivers now. We'll see what Logan could do down this back straight. Low downforce setup is key. There could be some drivers in this tier that are running 0-0, so I wonder if that's going to come into effect right now as well. So here comes Logan through in towards, I can't remember what turn it is. A bit of
Oh, banging
contact
wheels.
between the two of them, which could have costed quite a bit of time if your name is Marco, but I think Epic the Animal takes the lead and Mert stays in third place, and Mert has got a big job on his hands here to help his teammate. He's probably not going to be fighting too much on his teammate because that could cost him the title. We got Marco almost trying to go for the move on Logan this lap, but he couldn't quite do it, and Alex is now within 2/10 of the two Williams compatriots. Mert's not going to make Alex's life easy, I can tell you that.
No, he isn't. No, he isn't. No, he's going to try and keep behind. And actually, Marco should have got the corner cut warning because of that. He also went over the curb, over the curb there, and he got a warning because of that. So that's not a good idea of him getting a warning on lap 2. And yeah, it was quite aggressive there from Logan, but he's on the soft tyres, has to get it done because he'll be in quite early on. I've not really tested soft tyres around here, so I don't know what they're like during the race, but the mediums seem pretty good. So the softs, I mean, probably go about 4 or 5 laps, would you say? And then they'll start to die off. So yeah. So, but the problem is around here, it's so difficult to break DRS because there's not many high-speed corners. So breaking DRS around here is a nigh possibility for guys at similar pace. So I'm surprised if Marco repasses Logan down the straight here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be harder potentially for Marco at this lap. He's probably going to do it next lap, but he knows he's got Mert chasing him, but we know Mert's not going to fight this. And here comes Marco. Through goes Marco of the Williams, and he overtakes Logan. I think Mert is going to be doing exactly the same. So I wonder if those soft tyres for Logan is struggling just a little bit more than intended, which is not ideal. And looks like Mert is parking the bus a little bit there, which you are allowed to do as teammates. You can't do it if you're like in a esports team and if you're on a different constructor, but you can do it if you're on the same constructor. So Mert parked the bus a little bit there, which I think has helped Marco just a tiny bit. I wonder if I've given the Williams drivers a little bit of ideas. There we go, as we make our way towards turn 3. We got Craggy and Senna going side by side as they make a bit of contact through turn 4, which I think is going to hinder them, and that's allowing J. Cole to be in this fight as well. Through goes J. Cole, past it towards turn 5, and I think he's going to get this job done, but the Mercedes not going to make this one easy.
Casper as well.
Through goes Casper around the outside in towards turn 6, and through he goes then. Casper into 9th, but I don't think he's going to make this one stick, unfortunately, as Senna goes around the outside in towards turn 9. Yes, we got Casper doing a brilliant job sort of trying to hold on to these guys, but he's dropping positions again as Gabe has got past him once more. So this is really hindering him a little bit, unfortunately. But J. Cole, brilliant move. And yeah, Logan's tyres are gone, and Alex is going to make the pass, I think.
Yeah, he had a big slide coming out the corner there, leaning on the straight. It's going to kill his Mert down straight. No DRS. And look at Dave. Dave's very close to these guys. They always hit the back of the racing bull there, and he is through. And Mert's taking the lead, interesting enough. Only the two Williams are going to try to swap each other with DRS, but I think Alex is just about in the DRS of the two Williams. It's going to be close, but I think Alex is just about stayed in DRS 2 Williams, so we may see a battle here between the two Williams and the Haas, and this is basically our championship battle. And look at Dave. Dave's having a fantastic pace at the moment, keeping these guys at the lead, and Dave may be the spoiler in these guys' fun, because Dave looks quite quick. And Axelock as well. If Axelock can get by Logan, who's the tyres are gone already, so I think Logan will pit this lap, because them softs, he's just sliding all over the show, and got Likita not far behind either. Also on the hard tyres, so watch out for Likita later on. Likita could be a factor as well. We know he's got good raw pace, especially in qualifying, so watch out for Likita and to see if he can play a part in this fight. But Axelock will want to get by Logan ASAP. But Logan's in DRS to the cars ahead, so it may not be as easy for him as it was for the two Williams boys.
He's right on the gearbox of Logan, actually, as well. So if he wants to get past, potentially do it now, because otherwise you're going to be in danger of losing DRS to your teammate. But he's going to back off a little bit as we enter in towards turn 11. Now heading towards turn 12. It's crucial you get a good entry into there. I think he seems okay, but Logan's already lost DRS to Axelock's teammate, and Dave's form hasn't been great as of late, so if he gets a good result here, this will really be a very good result to end his season with. But his teammate Axelock's going to go for the move. Marco and Mert swap positions as expected, but Alex is going to try and go for the move, but backs off, which is understandable there. It's far too early in the race to make for some ambitious moves, because if you do that and you cause yourself to end the race, and Senna's out of the race.
Safety car, it's a crash. Yeah, Senna's crashed it, and I believe him and Casper might come together. Casper is off in the runoff area, and Senna's binned it on the
Front wing
chicane
damage.
and start. Yeah, so whenever they came together in that chicane, and yeah, Senna's season is over, and that's a shame. Everybody's in the pits. No, not surprised there. You have to pit really, and everybody, I presume, are going to set hard tyres.
Yeah,
That's the only
hardcore
way to
pound of
go,
tyres for
really.
everyone. That's a breathed a sigh of relief for Logan because he's probably got, I think, 2 sets of mediums
that
left.
has cost the Williams team, because look at Mert. Mert had to double stack. Look at him, he's all
Oh,
the way down
yeah.
in 5th place. So that has worked a treat for Alex. He is up into 2nd place, and this will do it for him. And Mert, that has cost the Williams team dear, but they both had to pit, because if Mert stayed out, he'd have got caught the safety car. So he had to pit, but that has scuppered the Williams team's plans a lot there. Logan's gone to mediums now, and so's Gabe and Casper. So interesting to see 3 of the guys on the medium tyres, and also this brings Morgan back into play, who pitted a lap earlier. I think so. Morgan's back in the race as well. But yeah, interesting to see 3 guys in the mediums. I wasn't expecting to see that.
I was not expected to see that either. I'm trying to remember. I think Casper started on the medium tyre, so I think he's gone for 2 sets of mediums. I think quite a few drivers have gone for the same. And now with that safety car, we've seen it with P4 and P2. With there being 1 safety car now, it's almost inevitable that there's going to be rain on the horizon. Even though it won't come till the very end, we will see some rain. That'll be enough for the intermediate tyres. So they've got to think on their feet a little bit and find out how they're going to make those tyres last. Because some people will think, oh no, it's nowhere near going to be intermediate conditions a little bit later on. I can go out on mediums. But mediums won't last long at all. But if you're on the hard tyres, you could stretch these until the inter period. In my practice session, I was able to pit, I think, about this point and stay out until, I think, lap 23. And I was able to stretch them. So it is doable for any of these guys. And if it stays as it is at the moment, Alex will be champion. He is definitely in the prime seat at the moment. And it's hindered Mert, as you were saying as well. But I think this is going to be a titanic fight between our 2 championship contenders, Marco versus Alex, but we might get the equaliser when we get the rain period. So I think Alex is probably gutted that we get the safety car, because he's hoping that he's going to be dry the whole race, whereas Marco, as we saw in the pre-race interviews, is hoping for it to be wet, and he probably likes the safety car right now.
This is interesting. Gabe and Casper are both coming in for another set of tyres, hard tyres. Obviously, this means they'll do their 2 stops. I wonder if they're thinking it's not going to dry, it's not going to be wet enough for the wets, and this could be absolutely massive shock for these guys if it doesn't rain. This could be, we could see an absolute strategy masterclass here from Gabe and Casper if it doesn't rain again, if it doesn't rain enough for inters. So I like to see that, though. I like to see that a bit of difference of opinion. And obviously Gabe was in 8th, Casper's at the back, so Casper's nothing to lose really. Because if it does rain, he just pitted away for inters, so Casper nothing to lose. But Gabe was in 8th place when he pitted, so Gabe's taking a little bit of a gamble here. But we'll see how it plays for him, as the 2 Ferraris. I'm surprised one of the Ferraris didn't do that, pitted, because they were at the back. So I'm quite surprised they didn't do that, because but the rest of the guys ahead, so the top 12 with the 1 stop, and then you've got Gabe and Casper back have done their 2 stops.
Yep, indeed. I'm a bit shocked, to be honest, that we've got an early safety car, but that does mean it kind of evens out the strategy for some of these guys. And I love the differing strategies, because don't forget, the weather is set to approximate. So just because it was like that in P2, P4, it's potentially not going to be like that in P1. It could be completely different. So for a lot of these drivers, they're going to go for the gut feeling. They can't just say, P4 had intermediate tyres on lap 21 or 22. I'll pit lap 21 then. Nah, not going to work. I think they must think on their feet a little bit. As the safety car, I think, is going to stay out 1 more lap, even though everyone's caught up.
No.
Safety
Very
car's
late.
in.
He's on the grid almost. Yeah, that's very late. Read this in the P4 team in Bahrain. So yeah, very late there. Not much time for Marco to get his tyres up to temperature. So we'll see how the restart goes.
We'll see. Here we go then. Marco is going to be the Burt Mylander, and it looks like he has gone very early, and he was hoping it would caught Alex off guard, He's caught him off a little bit, but not as much as he would have expected. And for the second time tonight, we go green flag racing in the P1 tier on lap 8 of 25. And Lakitu has had a bit of a moment. He's gone a bit deep, which meant Atslot and Jacob were able to move up positions. Jacob's up into 6th. Atslot has moved up into 7th. Mertz up to 5th place right now on a set of those hard compounded tyres. Morgan and Casper not making the ground that they would have liked. So I wonder if Casper's backing off a little bit just to save the tyres, because we know that he wants to try and get those tyres to the end because he thinks it's not going to be intermediate compounded tyres. But Marco is gapping Alex, which, yes, it may not be enough for the title just yet, but if he wants to win on track, and if we've seen what we saw in P2, the one who was leading before the intermediate period was able just to control that lead until the very end of the race. So that is hoping what Marco could potentially do, but no problem so far from a lot of our drivers, apart from the likes of course, Lakitu, who had a bit of a moment later on. But biggest gainer, I have to say, J. Cole up into 6th place.
Yeah, great for him, yeah. That's what I did in our safety car race. I just went a little bit deep, obviously, on the hard tyres. Not temperature, and to be fair, these drivers didn't give much time warning for that either, so not ideal. As Dave's having a look at Alex, he's very close to the back of Alex, but he thinks better of it. So I've got a permanent yellow flag on my screen in sector 3, which is a bit annoying. As Gabe and Craggy always side by side. Bangaro's a bit there, but Craggy just about hangs on. But Gabe, he looks really quick tonight. Gabe could be a factor later on, especially now he's done his 2 stops. They go side by side in the last corner. This is a bit brave. And Gabe is going to get it done. Is he going to go the inside into turn 1? And Craggy will fight this, I'm sure, but Gabe gets done a bit of contact there, but Gabe is through into 11th place. Craggy's going to fight around the outside. DRS will be in play, I believe, but Craggy's got the move done.
Yeah,
Greg's got the move done.
Yeah, Gabe has got the job done, up to 11th place, past Craggy. Craggy struggling a little bit on those tyres, as we've got Colin, who's almost just grazed the wall there as Gabe has passed through. And we know these two have been fighting throughout this race, and he's done a great job. And I have to say, that was a horrific camera angle, so I wasn't able to see a lot of that, and I wish I went on board. So yeah, that was horrible camera angle there. I wish we had a better one for that battle. So good job from Gabe, up to 10th place already in this race. And you could see that, yes, Colin was quicker on that last lap. Just Gabe just hang a little bit more comfortable on the brakes, as Colin's had a bit of a moment in turn 12, and so did the Ferraris too.
Craggy almost followed him in, I believe, there, but Craggy's going to get moved done with DRS, and he's through. And yeah, Colin's struggling a bit. Obviously, Colin's not the easiest season so far. He had a good race last week in Abu Dhabi, but yeah, Colin, I think, be glad to see the back end of this season. There's actually, because Craig got moved on earlier, it's not got DRS. And we'll look at Casper, going to get 2 in 1 here. Casper going to get 2 in 1. Obviously, there's a collision with Casper already in this corner already, but he moved on. We've got Craggy and Colin goes out here, and Craggy's through, and Colin, I think Colin will be glad to see the end of this race, because he's not enjoying this track. I can see from his onboard, he's not a fan of this track or this tier. So I'll be glad to see the end of this season, I think, Colin.
He's like me. He was down probably where I was in P3, and I think the more laps that pass, he's probably hoping that the race is over very soon, like I was. So keep your head up, Colin, because there's still many laps to go, and if it could happen, who knows? We could have another safety car, because we know in Las Vegas, safety cars breed safety cars. I believe in your team, you only had 1 safety car though, so it didn't breed another one.
We had a VSC as well, yeah.
Yeah, we had a VSC, and I was surprised with that actually. I thought it would have been a safety car, but it was a VSC earlier on. But through to turn 9 they go, and we're seeing exactly the same to what we saw in Abu Dhabi with Marco and Alex. They're definitely showing some respect between the two of them, which is very, very great to see. They're not going to be too ambitious just yet, because we're so we only done 10 laps of this race, so I think Alex is just going to play it safe for now. He's burning a bit of battery. He's going to get the DRS as well, so they're probably going to switch DRS off of each other, and we know that Marco is not going to give up without a fight as they go side by side in towards the DRS straight. But Marco stays behind, and maybe tactically he's thinking about doing that as well. But he's under pressure from Dave Dew, who's going to think about trying to go for moves very soon as well. So we're about to start lap 11 of 25, and by the way, Dave was faster than Marco that lap by 1,000th of a second, and now he's found a lot of time by about 4/10 a lap. Dave is faster than Marco in this race so far on the last lap, which shows that he has the pace around here. Alex, on the other hand, I'm just trying to see where Alex is Alex is about 5/10 quicker than Marco that lap. So Marco's struggling a little bit compared to Alex and Dave.
Yeah, sure. And this is interesting because these guys haven't raced Dave, so they're not quite sure of what he's like driving style. They haven't. So this is very interesting. Got a new guy at the front there, and these two champion contenders are not sure how it's going to work. Now, in terms of Marco, he's got to try and find a way to get past Alex and get Dave in between the two. As at the moment, that's probably his best place to get Alex down at third with Mert a bit further back, and obviously he's not really on the back of Logan either, as Logan's actually catching up these guys. Well, these front four starting to pull away a bit from Mert, so as Alex now he's threatening to break away from Marco. He's 7 times ahead. I think Alex is the quicker guy at the moment in these dry conditions, and these guys are just about hang on to DRS, which will help them gain a lot down the straight. But if Alex can get a really good first sector in, he can potentially pull away, but not other. But DRS, they gained half a second there on DRS, and we've got Axel kind of half a look at J. Cole there, but thinks better of it. Axel obviously yet to get a podium this season. He had a good chance in Hungary, but he's in that fight for potential podium finishes. As these front guys, now they're all quite close to the top 8, and Gabe, I believe, will join his fight as his pace during the race so far has been amazing. Let's not forget, Gabe doesn't have to do another stop, so if it stays dry, Gabe could be on for the race win here.
Yeah, and I remember when I was doing a practice session with him, I think I was having a lot of fun with him as he was trying to have some battles just to practice his racecraft a little bit, and it was really fun, and the moves he made was pretty good, so he was practicing for this moment. Yes, he's not sure about what his race pace could do against the P1 drivers because there was no P1 drivers in the lobby, but his racecraft, I think, was amazing during that practice session. So I wonder if that's going to translate. Here's a Spheri smiling at all the drivers as they make their way through in towards turn 9 now through this back straight. It's not going to be that long before people are going to start thinking about their second stops, or will they be thinking about staying out? It's going to be a big gamble to see how it's going to work. It looks like it's going to stay overcast in about 15 minutes or so. No sign of rain just yet, according to my telemetry. Casper gets past Craggy into turn 12, so Craggy's exit in towards turn 12 did not work, and he's lost a bit of time onto Casper. Or I wonder if Craggy's have DRS as Marco gets the lead on Alex in towards turn 14. They go and they make the chicane quite nicely as well. So yeah, Marco leads for now, but Marco's going to hope that Dave gets past Alex in order to win this title, because he could win a title by the point at this stage. Dave is going to be definitely one to watch here. Same with Logan as well. We got the top 5 pretty much in DRS of each other, and Mert's got to do something here. He's got to get past Logan in order to try and maybe help his teammate later on, because otherwise it's not going to help him, unfortunately, as we're halfway into this race now.
Yeah, that SC really did screw over Williams there, because in the great position there, they're 1-2, and I believe Mark Mert was starting to back the field up a little bit in sector 1, but that has gone now, so they'll have to go do it another way. And I believe if you're Alex, you can't aim to finish second, because if you aim to finish second, you won't finish second. So I think if you're Alex, you've got to go for the win. I remember 2008 Lewis Hamilton, McLaren specifically aimed their race to finish 5th, and it nearly didn't work out. So if you're Alex, you have to go flat out for the win here. And yeah, and I believe he's got the pace advantage over Marco, but he just manages his battery, manages his tyres, and obviously Marco will be hoping that Alex's wet weather struggles come into play. It does actually rain, because there's a possibility it may not, but at the moment Alex looking really comfortable, and I believe he has got a bit of pace to burn if he needs it, but there's no point at the moment, because you're not going to break away, so you might as well save it, as he's going to go for lead again here, gets the move done into the chicane. And yeah, Marco, no point fighting that on lap 12, 13, no point fighting that at the moment. Just these two need to work, but Marco needs to make sure Dave doesn't lose DRS here, because if Dave loses DRS, then it's going to make his job winning championship so difficult. So he wants to win the race, but also he needs to back the field up a bit. So this is very interesting mindset for Marco. It's so difficult to really get this right, because it goes against the instinct not to go full speed. But if he goes full speed, then I think he'll break away from these guys behind. So it's just so difficult for him.
And it's about saving He made a mistake. He
So
went
he
a
had a
bit deep. He went a
big
bit
slide,
deep.
yeah.
He went a bit deep going in towards turn 5 there. And there's a danger if you go full power for this hard stint. When it gets to potentially the rain period, those hards won't last. So I think it's important for Marco and Alex to not go full pelt, and maybe they could DRS each other and then go full pelt towards the end when we know when the rain is potentially going to come. And there's still no sign of rain just yet. And we know how quick this Vegas race could be. When I was watching P4 and P2, the race just went like that, even with a safety car. So they haven't got long left to make some decision. You can start to see Alex pulling away a little bit. You can see Marco burning the battery a little bit. He hasn't got much left, but we know the DRS can carry a little bit extra power. You can see Alex is making sure that Marco doesn't try and get any slipstream. It's going to be hard. He's going to park the bus, goes Alex, and that's worked well in his favour a little bit as Alex maintains the lead from Marco at this stage. Or maybe Marco's done this on purpose. We'll have to wait and see. Gabe and Lakitu having a little bit of a fight there in towards that chicane. Gabe is through once more into 8th. His pace on those hard tyres is definitely a lot better. Lakitu and Craggy unfortunately struggling a little bit as they enter the DRS straight. But we're on lap 15 of 25 now. 11 laps to go. Anything could happen. Still, the title still yet to be decided, and still the top two, one of them could make a mistake, but let's hope that doesn't happen because we want to see them fight to the line pretty much. But Alex having the upper hand at the moment, but Marco's not giving up without a fight.
No, he's sticking in there, and you see this front 5 now starting to pull away a bit. The front 5 broken away from Axelock, who's about 2 seconds back, so it's definitely a 5-way battle for the win here between these guys. And Logan on them mediums, he's going to hope the rain comes ASAP, because I don't think them mediums got much left to give. So only if you go another set of mediums, though, maybe, and try and come back, and maybe hope that a faster tyre. So Logan, I think, will have to put another set of dry tyres for sure, because he's not going to get the mediums to the wet if it does rain. So Logan, we'll see in the pits pretty soon, and there's Alex. The gap's down he's up to 7/10 now. Alex, he is slightly quicker, I do believe, but he's not breaking the DRS, so that's helping Marco a treat here, because he's getting 3 lap time down here. He can charge his battery a little bit. He's gaining even without using battery, because the DRS is so OP around there. He is half a second. J. Cole, Axelock had to get the move done, because if Axelock was holding J. Cole up a bit there, and he is through. Now can J. Cole break away from Axelock here, whose race pace has dropped off a little bit. He's got Gabe all over the back of the Aston Martin now, and Gabe will want to get through too, and Lakitu also. So, you know, as Axelock has a little look at J. Cole repassing him, but it's a bit too far back, and Gabe's going to fight around the outside. He's on the pit exit, but it's just part of the track, so it's fine. Bang those there bit. That was... Both survived though, didn't lose out much of it there, but yeah, Gabe was on the outside there going quite aggressive, but you know, Axelock just a bit unfortunate there, but they both managed to survive another day, and Gabe inside Axelock, that's going to be a late move, a bit of a slide there, managed to hang it on, and he's through. No, but Axelock does keep it, because obviously Gabe had poor traction there, but I was adamant there that Gabe was going to cream into the back of the Aston Martin with that slide into the corner there, but managed to keep it, hang on, keep together, and now I think J. Cole will be sitting duck down the straight now with these 3 cars right behind him.
Yeah, I think if I was J. Cole, I'll be worried. And whilst this fighting was happening, J. Cole's teammate Colin got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Colin today has gone from bad to worse right now. I think someone just had a bit of an off in turn 12 in this battle with Gabe. So that's going to be interesting and probably good news if you're J. Cole. But let's watch Axelock. I don't think J. Cole's going to... fight this one, I don't think. There's no point fighting. He's going to lose so much time. And Axelock gets past, and almost had a bit of a side going through turn 14 in front. So Axelock could try and close up.
Oh, Gabe in the wall a little bit.
Gabe in the wall a little bit, and any more safety cars could increase the chance of rain. And Marco's in as well. So's Logan. So they think the rain isn't going to come soon, but I've just had a word in my telemetry software. Light rain in 15 minutes, Jamie. Light rain in 15 minutes.
Well, the race is going to be over by then, as we've got 2 Red Bull and the Gabe and Lakitu were banging wheels there a bit, and Gabe is through into 5th place. So Gabe at the moment, I'm saying now, Gabe, as long as he survives his battle with Lakitu, I think Gabe he's going to have a big lead when these guys pit. And that was, very sketchy there, but Lakitu does stay ahead, but Nikita's going to have to Gabe up the inside. Oh my God, that was very late there. Gabe will be in the lead in these guys' pit as long as he keeps his wing on, but which is not a given at the moment where these guys are fighting. Yeah, Nikita there, he's going to hang on there, but Gabe's going to go for it here. I wonder if Nikita was letting him through so he get DRS down the straight. That might be 100 IQ racing there for Nikita, and yeah, Nikita was Gabe through, but Nikita's going to get DRS down the straight, and yeah, so I don't think Gabe should have gone for it there because he's going to get overtaken again by Nikita down here, unless he can pull away. But it's not much battery, so it's going to be a bit done deal, I think, for Nikita here.
And don't forget, these are fast drivers, so we could see that there's no rain at all in this tier, but it is also set to approximate, so it's going to be a gamble, I think, on whether you pit now or stay out, and I think both sides of the camp will be, I think, a bit right. And it's interesting that the two championship contenders have gone for two different strategies, so I think the winner of the championship will come down to pretty much luck at this point at the end of the day, because we don't know when the rain's going to come. Yeah, exactly. We don't know when the rain's going to hit. So
if it hits soon, then Alex will do it. But if it doesn't, then I believe Marco might do it because he's going to undercut so much. Obviously, Gabe will be in the lead, but I believe he can close that gap. Gabe's on really old tyres. I don't think Gabe will hang on these tyres, and Marco could win the race. We may see like a Gabe, for example, in between. So yeah, this is very interesting. Mert's saying out too. Mert's up trying to he's stalking Alex about a second and a bit behind, so he hasn't quite got the pace of the Haas guy, but he's there. And Dave, look at Dave. Dave, who obviously Dave's been overtaken by Mert there, so Mert's finally passed Dave up into second place, but he's lost DRS to Alex, so Alex in the lead. And is he going to pit? I don't think he will. I think if he stayed out now, he committed to going out to the wet tyres. There's no point pitting now because he'd be too far behind Marco, and Logan's with these guys now, and Marco's got to get past Curry now. This is interesting. Can Curry hold Marco up down the straight? I don't think he can. I think he has got the traction, I don't think.
It looks like I think Dave's going to get past. Yes, he does. So yeah, Dave, I think having a good race so far, Touchwood. Every time I say in this tier, sometimes this season, people have a good race. They don't end up doing so. Craggy, for example, I think in Miami, I kind of jinxed him. I thought he was going to win the race, but not going to happen there. It's going to be 3 wide going in towards. As Marco almost went a bit too deep there, but he had to get past these two, because otherwise he's going to lose a bit of ground. So Marco up into 9th place, and he's going to hope that the rain pretty much does stay away, because if the rain doesn't stay away, then, well, if the rain it doesn't stay away, then Marco's going to be in a bit of trouble. Morgan getting his first 3-second time penalty of the session. Rain in 10 minutes, so it could go either way. It's going to be, I think, a bit touch and go on who's made the right stuff today.
Dave had a big slide. Dave had a big slide in the what I call the in the chicane there with the massive sphere, and that's a big slide there. Dave's tires have gone off, and Mertz will get through. I don't think these hard guys. The tyres are going to run out of Thieves, so they're going to struggle with tyre grip if it does get wet, if it does rain. And as Dave had a big moment there, Dave's car, his tyres are short. He's just having all sorts of opposite luck there. He's lost 2 seconds at Alex's lap. Mert, I guess we've done now.
Yeah, I think Mert's going to get this one. You could tell, I think Dave was pushing it, I think, during this hard stint. And I think what Mert was doing was he wasn't pushing it and saving his tyres. And that's what's helping him a bit. I did say, do not overdo it before the wet period. And that's exactly what Dave did. He overdone it. And he's going to be in danger of losing a lot of time to maybe Atzot as Gabe hang a battle again with Lakitu. Honestly, Gabe is definitely giving us some entertainment today. He could be one of our contenders for driver of the day. This is his best race of the season so far. He's got some brilliant pace.
As well.
Yeah,
Casper's on the same strategy.
Yeah, he's on the same strategy as well, because Casper, don't forget, doesn't need to stop again as well. So he could still be on the running to win this one.
Past Marco.
And crucially, Logan's got the fastest lap of the race, which I think could be absolutely crucial at this point. A lot of people struggling to avoid the walls, as it seems, on this game. But Lakita's got past Gabe once more as they make a bit of contact, but they just about avoid it. That's great stuff. If I was Casper, I would stay completely out of this as they head towards turn 6 and 7 into the spear. Yeah, Lakitu just about stays ahead. Honestly, between these two, this is amazing. Gabe could go for a lunge here. No, but he's not. I am loving it between the two of them. But I think if these two keep squabbling, that's going to allow Casper and Craggy to try and close in on them, I think.
Yeah, and Logan and Marco are gaining on these guys a lot on the fresh tyres. So these two be on that battle in about a lap and a half, I believe. So yeah, watch out for Logan and Marco. Marco has to get ahead of Logan here. He needs to get by Logan here. He cannot afford to be behind Logan. He has to stay ahead. But if you're Alex, you're gonna have to think about pitting soon because yeah, it may rain, but also you don't want to be too far
Lakitu!
behind your rival. Oh, what happened there?
Lakitu had a bit of a slide heading towards turn 14 and 15, which has lost some time to Gabe now. So
He's in the pits.
fight, yeah, he's gone into the pits now. He has to. He's been on those tyres for 14 laps, and if his tyres have almost given up the ghost. What about Alex? And it's not going to be that long before Marco catches up to the back of Craggy, Gabe, and Casper, and they could be on that train. And Marco could try and gamble and stay out, and he could still win this championship. So the championship could turn in on his head. We still don't know, Jamie, who's going to win this title. It was like in P3, exactly the same thing, but I think this is even tighter. We still don't know if Marco's got the right strategy or Alex has got the right strategy. I think, though, in my opinion, Marco's got the right strategy because he's always trying to close in onto the likes of Gabe and Casper, and I don't think it's going to rain at the end of the race, but anything could happen in Formula One, and it usually does.
If I were Alex, I'd consider pitting for soft tyres. You get the fastest lap, and at the moment it's going to come out in third place, I believe. But Logan might be the factor here. Logan might be the factor that allows Marco to win the championship. Because Logan is sticking with Marco. Problem with Marco is he's behind these guys now who all find each other so hard on the old tyres. He's going to have to get through these guys pretty quickly. He cannot afford to lose any lap time. So Marco, ideally we get past all three in the straight, but I don't think he can get past all three in the straight. He'll get past one or two of them, I believe, but all three is going to be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, don't forget, it's a mandatory two-stop race. You have to do two stops. If you do not do two stops, you will get disqualified from this one. And we've seen, I think, championships decided due to that right now. So let's hope Alex, of course, remembers, but we know he's an experienced driver. So, of course, he was light rain in 5 minutes, so it could come any time now. I'm just looking to see the onboard shot. Still no rain yet. I think it will be a bit too late for people to go on to Inters, I think. As it's Marco almost touching Craggy. This is nail-biting stuff. Marco's got to get these moves done now, because otherwise he's in danger of losing his championship. And I think Marco has to stay out at this point in order to have a chance, because he's going to hope the rain doesn't come any point. As we can see Gabe's trying to go up the inside. Gabe's weak past Marco, but Marco fights back. This is losing Marco valuable time for the fight of this championship, and Gabe fights once more. Brilliant move from Gabe. Honestly, for entertainment factor, I would give Gabe driver the day hands down. He's definitely giving us some really good battles.
Don't forget,
this is helping Alex.
For the win, because Gabe stopped, so Gabe is fighting these guys for position. He is stopped, so it's a fight for position for him. So, of course, he's going to fight a bit more than these guys ahead, because he usually has two stops. So he's got Casper going a bit deep there. Casper's actually in the lead this race, net lead, but he's gone a bit deep there, and Gabe will get the move done. And now Logan's past Marco, and Logan's lost 2 seconds. Logan Marco lost 2 seconds compared to Alex in this lap. These guys just fighting. If I was Alex, I'd consider pitting down, just go a set of softs. Yeah, you get the fast lap easy, and then you probably able to catch up these guys again. So, is he coming in? I think he's staying out.
I think I just saw rain. Yeah, it's raining.
Oh, all right. So it might work out for Alex then. If I was Alex, I'd pit for Inters. Obviously, you've got to do it on the penultimate lap, and someone else coming to pits here. I believe that is a McLaren and a Ferrari in, so they're both in for a set of Inters.
Craggy and Casper come in. They've gone for Inters.
Yeah, they have to pit.
They have to pit. Well, no, Casper didn't have to pit because he still made. He's done his 2 stops, but Craggy had to pit. Yeah,
but he had literally no grip left. As Lakitu says fastest lap, I don't think I'll be beating.
I don't think that'll be beating. I think that'll be it.
Set.
Speaking of Lakitu, past Curry. Nicely done there.
Into 9th place.
I could see the gap coming down ever so slightly. I think the Inters are about 2 tenths slower, so I think if I was Alex, I would come in this lap for a set of Inters. Let's hope he's got a set of Inters on, and the gap is increasing quite a bit. He keeps hitting the wall. He can't be doing that, Sunshine.
Yeah, I mean, someone's on the ear saying, "Mate, you got this in the bag. Just don't hit the wall, because if you pit, do you pit this lap or next lap?"
I don't know. The Inters are faster by quite some way. I'm looking at the delta. It's now the Inters are 2.3 seconds faster than old hards. And if I look at Marco, 2.5 seconds compared to mediums. So
Yep.
you would have to go in at this point. Marco could still win the title where he is, but he doesn't have to
He's in the
box.
pits, committed to the pit lane. He's in. He's committed to the pits. He's in. I believe Mert will follow him in. Mert's done a solid job in second place, and Dave could be on for a potential podium here, because obviously
Dave's coming in. That's a lot. I think they're going to have to double stack at this point.
It's worth it though. It's worth double stacking. It's actually 5 second gap, so Axel might be okay here. 5 second gap might not be too bad. Marco has to stay out. He just has to stay out.
This
Really.
is a fight for the win. This is for the fight for the win. But I think Alex is going to be close anyway. It's going to be very tight. It's going to be very tight coming out of the pit lane. But Marco just about goes ahead. But I think this is probably falling to Alex's favour. But look at the traction that Alex has got on Logan. As it stands, Alex will win the championship, because all Alex will need to do is finish second. If I were Alex, play it safe until you get the DRS straight. I would go into a straight, I would say, because he's just got the grit right now. He can't afford to make contact.
Bang wheels there.
You can't afford to bang wheels like that.
Bodywork flying there. I think they're both okay though. I think that was just superficial damage, but yeah. Alex gets moved on straight away. He doesn't need to get it done. He doesn't need to risk a penalty, a collision. But look at the traction there. DRS disabled. He's got the move done, and the traction on the dry tyre is not good. I don't blame Marco for trying this. He had to try something different. And if it stayed dry, it would have worked absolute treat for him. But unfortunately, it didn't. And that fighting, he lost 5 seconds fighting them guys in midfield, and that cost him a lot of time. But I think it would have been moot anyway, because I think Alex would have passed anyway. But he would have been a bit further up the road, and now Mert is gonna. Now Mert
could be on for third here.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you're Marco, you have to let Mert through, aren't you? Because he's got to try and get after Alex if he can. Now, this is interesting. Gabe on 14 lap old hards. I don't want to be his shoes.
17.
Yeah, 17 lap old hards. Sorry, don't want to be in his shoes. As Marco, the sticks are gone because Mert's up to second place, and Marco, it's a valiant effort for him, but it's going to fall just short. But let's not forget, Alex still has to cross the line, final lap. He still has to get to the end, and on a track like this, it's so easy just to lock wheel up. But Alex can play it safe now.
Marco's had enough. Marco's had enough. I think that's championship over. That's championship over for Marco. And to be honest, I wouldn't have known what to have done in that situation for Marco. I think he must have made contact with Logan, but I wouldn't have known what to have done with whether for a pit or not. It's about the luck of the draw, actually. The luck of the roll of the dice, pretty much. And unfortunately, it hasn't gone in Marco's favour, as Casper is now through past Logan as he's through to P6, and I think he's going to get past Marco as well.
Logan's
you can
off.
see how Logan's a bit of been off as well. It's a bit of a shame. He was doing so well up until that point. I think the late call he had was a bit unfortunate as well, as Casper almost had a bit in the middle of going into the spear, and I think you made your bed and line. It says Marco, he's now got a 3-second time penalty. So I
don't blame him though.
I don't blame him. Try something different.
Because if he was nailed on for first or second if he just followed Alex, and he had to finish. Now, if he was 3 points behind, he could have followed Alex, but obviously because it was that count back was so vital, and that's allowed Alex to take a race win, and obviously he stayed out. Had to keep it on track on 7 lap half. Let's not forget. So I won't be pushing this hard, mate.
Don't push that hard. But Alex has driven a great race. Of course, he did very well in the last few races. He picked up the most wins this season. He is your season 28 P1 champion by making those into strategy perfect. He wins the race by 3.3 seconds. He was a class of the field while everyone else was fighting for position. He had clear air and he was able to go on and win the race and just about get ahead of his nearest rivals and get past where they were struggling on the slick tyres. Alex is your P1 champion, and well deserved. He gets a trophy for the first time and some good merch. Mert will finish second, and Dave, with his best result in one hub, will get his first ever podium. Jamie. That's one thing to add to the milestone. And it looks like Logan's... I thought Logan was going to do donuts there, but he wasn't. Could Curry or Colin do donuts, please? That is my request.
No,
do donuts.
It's too wet. I think too wet for donuts.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't do donuts. Ignore me.
Marco threatened it there, but obviously I believe he can't do it on the slicks in a wet track. And Marco was finishing line 12th. Give it a good go. I don't blame him for it. Second in the championship. Yet again, another top 3 for him in the championship. Not quite got a job done, but Alex, a fantastic job for him winning a championship. He made the right calls on the strategy, starting on the hards and then obviously doing double hard stint and then taking the race win on the inters. It wasn't that safety car didn't come out though. It would have stayed dry. So the safety car played a huge factor there in that race. But I think Alex had it covered anyway. I think he would have finished second if he didn't stay dry. So I think Alex would have won a championship regardless. But that weather definitely played a factor, made it a lot more tense for us. And about 4 or 5 laps to go, I wasn't quite sure which way it'd go.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing with what One Hub Racing P1 tier. It's been so close all season between Alex and Marco. And, of course, plenty of those drivers have had bad mistakes. Of course, they've had pit lane penalties. They've had banging into walls. And it just shows for the first time, Alex delivered when it counted. And he didn't even need to practice in the wet. I think it was his stint on the dry that helped him cement the victory today. And, of course, the championship. And it will be good to find out from him how he feels about that. I'm sure he'll be asked a little bit later on in the week. But your provisional results, of course, before the stewards, we've got Alex from Dave, from Casper, Axelot, from Craggy, Gabe, Jacob, Lakitu, and Logan, your top 10. And we got Morgan and Marco, your final points paying position. And Marco is going to be absolutely defeated, but have his head held high. He can fight for the championship next season. And then we got Curry and Colin, your final finishes, and they're getting a DNF, which caused the one early safety car. Lakitu gets the fastest lap inside the top 10, and outside the top 10, it belongs to Marco there. So yeah, he will get a consolatory points. He'll get 2 points, but surely he would have wanted more. Now, Jamie, it's for you to pick your sim racing setup driver of the day. Who's it going to be for one final time, and what's your question?
Well, I could have given to Gabe. Obviously, he finished first on 18-lap old hards and was the best finisher on the dry tyres at the end. And he did a fantastic strategy. Obviously, good fighting as well on all the tyres compared to fast drivers. But I will give it to the guy who got podium. He had fantastic pace throughout the race. Good qualifying result. Fantastic pace throughout the race. Was in the front runners all race. I'm going to go with Dave. Obviously, not had the best season, but a great finish with P3 and a great confidence boost. End the season. Like I say, Dave, well done on the podium. You had quick pace all the way through the race. What was? Were you convinced it was going to rain at the end? That's why you stayed out and waited for the wet tyres.
Good question, and I was hoping you would go for that. Go for the one I was going to pick, and you got to pick the champion. Yes, it's quite boring, but his dry stint was a great earlier on, and whilst everyone else fought, he was able to just pull away. And I just thought my question is going to be simple. Congratulations on winning the title. After that safety car, were you hoping that the rain was going to come soon, or were you expecting it to stay dry for the whole race? And how does it feel to claim your first ever One Hub Racing champion? We got a maiden champion, just like we've seen in the P3 tier, and of course we have repeat champions in the P4 and the P2 tier. So there you go. So we've got all 4 champions being crowned this evening, and for the final time we are ending it there for season 28. Of course, we still got the end of season stream next Sunday, but we've had 12 incredible rounds, all won by some incredible people. And what did you think of P1 this season, Jamie? Because it's been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, it's been very good. Obviously, fantastic battles, good battles. Obviously, we had a good battle at the front between Marco and Alex, but we also had some good fights behind them. We had a lot of different podium finishes. obviously today we had another podium finish show. We had the emergence of some good future drivers. I believe Mert is going to be a real factor in the future because he came on really strong at the end of the season. Obviously played a huge part of winning the Constructors' Championship, and yeah, obviously Marco would be desperate to maybe he's another top three for him, so he's knocking the door maybe next time round. If he races next time round, it could be his. But Alex, I think, deserves it in the end. He obviously came on clutch in there with them string of race wins, and obviously I had a difficult round last week, but still finished P2. A difficult round, and then tonight he made the calls right, and yeah, it was a difficult call whether to pit or not. Halfway through that stint, but he thought it was going to rain, and it came out clutch for him. But I say it could have so easily, could have so easily had a Marco Logan 1-2 there, Mark, and that could have. But even if it did stay dry, I believe we might have seen a situation where Alex, on a lot of fresher tyres, was catch them guys. We may have seen a situation where there might have been an overtake on last lap for the championship. So it would have been interesting either way, but I think the way it played out, I think the right guy won just about. But credit to Marco for a fantastic season. But I think Alex just about deserved it in the end. Not by much though, but I think he was just slightly ahead.
And he was able to do very well in the wet conditions as well, because he even said in the pre-race show he was struggling a little bit. So well deserving for that. But we got quite a few people to thank before we wrap up. Of course, thank you to all the drivers for racing here for the entirety of the season. You've given myself and Jamie and all the other commentators that joined this tier, which was Mike and Evil last week, some great action to watch. So we do appreciate your help and support on that one, for making the races excellent. A big thank you to Colin and Axelot for being great tier coordinators this season, especially Colin for doing most of the lobbies, and Axelot for hosting one of the weeks that Colin can't be here. Without you two, the P1 lobbies wouldn't be run as smoothly as they have done, so thank you to the both of them. Of course, thank you to Evil and Mike for filling in last week, and of course thank you to yourself, Jamie, for joining me in the commentary box. We haven't done it in a while, haven't we? But I think you've enjoyed yourself, and will you be back for commentary next season?
Yeah, should do. It's see how. Yeah, should do. I mean, I've got a free entry race next season. I should be racing next season, and hopefully, yeah, I should be back commentating. Obviously, I'll see how the new thing works out. But yeah,
of course, we've got the DLC. Yeah,
on Sundays. So yeah, hopefully get using that soon, and then obviously stay tuned to socials and Discord, and then obviously there's no plans for season 29 yet, because we don't know what's going to happen, but we'll know in due course, and then we'll let you guys know once you get that. And obviously there'll be still plenty of time to sign up, and obviously next season we're going to have a 22 driver grid, so
with Cadillac. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. That's going to be exciting. But yeah,
it's going to make my job a little bit harder with team contracts as well, and more teams people apply for. So, yeah, that should be interesting. And obviously, these cars are going to drive a lot different, and how the game will add that in. So that's going to take some learning. I think we may see a bit of a shake-up.
Yeah, we will see a shake-up. Yeah, it's DLC, but I think there'll be quite a few things that change there. So yeah, thanks for all your help in the comments box, Jamie. For one final time, we'll go through the sponsors, because I do believe someone readied up too early because we didn't have time to go through all of them. So Delta.app, our title sponsor, thank you very much to them. If you're over 18, you could use all your investments in one app, and if you use the link in the description on YouTube, or if you do the command !Delta in Twitch chat, you can make smart decisions like the world's top investors and track your journey to success with Delta. Of course, thanks to Next Level Racing for providing these prizes. We'll find out a little bit more about how these will be used in next week's stream. Sim Racing Setups, they provide some prizes for Driver of the Day and Driver of the Season. We'll find out who's won that next week. And you could get 10% off all Sim Racing Setups by using the code OneHubRacing. Make sure you get prepared for Season 29 and get some F126 setups by pre-ordering, and you can use the OneHub Racing code for that. Pure Sim Gear, use the code OHR10P at checkout by enhancing your sim racing experience, and the driver with the most combined laps and poles will win the Speedster Award and will wear Pure Sim Gear gloves or socks. We have our partners, Vespertine, that support our championship apparel and prizes, and also our payment system. And finally, to SimGrid. Without SimGrid, we'll be using forms and spreadsheets, and Cam will probably be shouting at us. But there we go. Thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you to all the drivers. Thank you to all the commentators. Thank you to all the stewards. Thank you to all the tier coordinators. And thank you to all the management. we'll do proper thank yous next week. But for myself and Jamie, we'll see you very soon. Our next stream will be next Sunday, probably around about 7 o'clock, where we review the season, review the champions, as well as crown our remaining prizes, including the Going Gets Tough award, the rankings, and the poles and fastest laps as well, and driver of the season. So we'll find out who has won those. And yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week. Have a nice break, everybody, for F1 26 DLC. Bye bye.